Recording is
Um,
good.
is good.
Yep.
Would anyone like to do a recap?
I got this really concise. We came, we saw, we kicked ass. We're taking a break.
Nice.
Sounds good to me.
Now we've had several small encounters with goblins, and we have been searching and collecting a few different items. Those items include a wand of magic missiles that Altair has, I believe. There's a cloak that was just dropped on the floor. There is a small version of a jug of alchemy that Mumble Man has acquired, and Mumble Man also picked up a scroll of long striding. On top of that, we've picked up several pieces of information regarding what's happened here over the last few days, um, including weird things like goblins putting pails and buckets out, um, uh, and there being a note about the entrance into the keep being controlled by traps and mechanism related to sconces and fire. And that is the majority of what I can remember. Oh,
Yes, and there was some little bit of fighting.
I think Barney has the wand of magic missiles now.
I do know.
yeah, okay, yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought Alter you'd pass it on, but I couldn't exactly remember.
It was a good joke.
Yes, it was. No,
The
okay,
hand-
yeah,
the
when you
hand
put it
bit him.
that way, it's like, I remember it.
And yes, you also dealt with a lot of the stragglers throughout the keep as well. You kind of explored all the different sections and areas, and had come across some of the others that had been, digging into treasure or, checking out different barrack points. Barney had encountered a hob that ran out into the open, and luckily you guys were able to take care of that one, and without much incident. But yes, you find yourselves inside the one barracks, sort of taking a rest here. Barney, Mumbleman, and Altair in the midst of sort of divvying and checking loot out that you'd found throughout the place. Bjorn receiving and seeing one note in particular that struck him as odd and curious, which then spiraled out of control in anger and no, but was in the midst of having a sort of meditative moment in the corner while you guys had your rest. While Bjorn is sort of meditating, there's some time that went by with you guys investigating those items and divvying them out. Altair, Barney, and Mumbleman, what are you guys kind of doing to kill time?
I'm not sure if I need to attune to the Jug of Alchemy, but if I do, I will do that.
No, you did not.
And I'm going to use it to produce some poison.
Okay.
So that gets me one thing of poison.
Yeah, right.
Guess nothing. Just sit there.
T-pose? Okay.
Yeah, T-pose, maybe plank on things, I don't know.
Okay. And Barney? We'll go to Bjorn. Bjorn, you are in the midst sort of state of meditation here as you're sort of resting, and you had read that name on the paper and you're thinking to yourself how that could be. And, she's gone, she disappeared, you thought she was dead, but now you're starting to see these things. Albeit she was never found, there's not you couldn't fathom how she could survive a plummet like that. And you sort of go through that previous vision you had, seeing her plummet from the avalanche, Thorm trying to interject but failing in her bad descent, and that sort of grotesque image of the huge plunge of her falling on her back into the frozen tundra and all those exposed brambles and vines from between. You can see her. You had seen her sort of run through in several places as she sort of lay motionless on the ground. And you have this sort of horrible imagery that's sort of like witnessing it firsthand, but you're just sort of this, I guess, spectator in this vision here. The same sort of occurrence happens while you're meditating here, and it's a bit more intricate in its, I guess, revealing of the same sort of sights. The winds are blowing and it's kicking up all the snow and it starts to swirl off, and the vines shift slightly and her body sort of moves downwards a bit, and this is where you can see the blood starting to leak out a little bit, reaching that growth beneath her, before the emergence of that tunnel-like vision that you had seen before that narrows all your periphery. But you sort of watch the essence of the tree underneath her start to change, and the roots withdraw from her wounds, causing more of a bleeding to occur. Starts to convulse a bit, coughs up blood, and it soaks her face and mouth. Now that the vines have completely withdrawn from her body, they start to gnarl and twist, and they seemingly start to wring out this substance that begins to seep into her skin. And it's that familiar white, milky-like sap that looks really familiar to you. You see her wounds begin to ease, her gaze still expressionless, with her eyes that are locked into the sky. The vacant stare starts to regain focus, and her irises go white as the milk that she absorbed. And now it's different from the vision before, is that it was all kind of out of focus all around the periphery. Like I said, it was sort of tunneled. But now it's showing pretty much everything around her. Where she had fallen off the mountain and down near the shores of the sea, you see water crashing up against the cliffs and the wind still blowing. She starts to regain herself, strong-willed as she's always been, but you make out a form of a figure standing by a tree, sort of half behind it and half exposed. You recognize as the robed, moss-covered being with those burning orange eyes through the darkness of that drawn hood. You see it, but Freya is unable to. And whatever has happened to her with this sort of substance revitalization, seems she finds the strength to start to rise up, but stumbles a little bit before, with a burst of leaves and snow, that robed form moves directly beside her and sort of hunches down on this awkward angle, staring at her from like about 3 feet away, sort of glaring menacingly at her. Her immediate reaction is to launch herself away, which puts distance between her and that. But she can't, as she finds herself locked in that very familiar, influential incantation. Vines begin to restrain her, while this figure circles her and is almost seemingly gauging her or appraising her or something. And you see motions that are made, potential voices that are said, but you're unable to make out anything other than that horrible instance of either fact or fiction, whatever's happening. That hooded figure lifts a finger to her chest and just runs it into her abdomen. And you can see her wail, like without sound. And her head shoots upwards as she screams into the sky, her eyes turning a completely pale white before she stops. It withdraws, and it pulling away as she sort of slumps over and then falls onto the vines. The figure begins to walk away from her and slowly turns back occasionally before moving towards a trunk of a large tree and then passing through it and then falling away like a burst of wind just takes the leaves and snow away, disappearing. You see Freya wakes up again. You're not sure how long time passed, sort of rubbing her head. She shoots awake. She draws her bow and knocks an arrow in the same motion. She sort of waits around. You see her, she's visibly shaking and trembling intensely as she's scanning around for whoever that was and whatever had happened. And she realizes after a bit of time that she's alone. And in the moment she starts to like shake her head and question maybe that was just some sort of weird dream. She checks her stomach. There's no wound. And she rubs her mouth and there's no blood. She jolts her head towards the mountain in which she fell from, starts calling out voicelessly. No sound is occurring in this vision, but before running to the bottom of the ridge and attempting to climb back up the mountain. She gets about 20 or so feet up the mountain again before her eyes shoot pale white again, and she stops and turns around slowly and just begins to head right back down the ridge into the cliff and starts to follow the edge along the sea. And you see her instantly try and snap out of it, shakes her head, now sort of making this realization. She's, oh shit, before trying to run back to the ridge and climb up again. But she's met with this inability to disobey. And you sort of watch your mother, the eyes as white as snow, just begin to walk off into the blizzard that picks up with the wind that blows off of the sea. And then Bjorn, you awake from your meditative state and realize that you're not in anywhere near what you had just seen, and you're back inside the little barracks keep here with all your fellow party members around, sort of divvying up loot and staring. You see Altair's aggressively T-pose dancing, and but you
I'm
wake up and
philosophy
see
in the
yourself.
corner.
Yeah. But you're back here, sort of having pretty vivid vision. Sorry, it was probably a lot to take in. You guys hear or see Bjorn start to stir a little bit after, it's probably been about an hour. Short rests have been had at this point. Anyone who wishes to do hit, I think you guys did hit dice already.
Yeah, we
But,
did.
okay, so yeah. But everything here is now yours. Whatever you guys wish to do. And what would you like to do?
I get up and I kind of approach Mama Man. Like, Mama Man, do you know what the root milk, the milky substance that comes from the root of all these vines and stuff, these trees, what it does?
Well, I use it in a few different things, but it kind of, um, it works and it doesn't work. It changes. It's weird. So I don't use it too much. And I'm studying it, and I'd like to get more of it.
Well, I got some a little ways back in the other. While we were here, I found some, and I've got it in a water skin.
Okay. Well,
This
I
vision I
can.
just had definitely showed my mother dying, bleeding out, and a milky substance coming from the vines and going into her and bringing her back alive.
Yeah, I've seen it like absorb into people sometimes, but and it can have some healing properties, but it doesn't seem normal. It seems a little
Well,
weird.
that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is it seemed like afterwards she didn't fully have a will of her own. It's like she tried to come back up the mountain, the place where she fell, and something compelled her to stop. And her eyes like glistened over, like the milk just flooded her brain. And she climbed back down.
You see Mumble Man get a really intense, focused look on his face, and he's paying attention to you, and his head's nodding, and then it kind of shifts, and he's, well, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, we can play around and look into it, and I can ask some questions. There's some people in town that owe me a favor now.
Pull out the water skin that has the milk in it. Like, this is full of the root milk.
I will mark that skin, um, with like a danger symbol, and I will pack it quite carefully compared to how I normally package stuff, and nestle it like so it's more in the middle of my backpack, so less likely to go missing, take damage, or have something happen to it.
Thank you. you learn anything of this, please let me know, because apparently my mother's alive, but maybe being controlled or possessed, which is odd. Maybe that's why my real father's been trying to reach me.
Was there anything else that you saw in this vision that may have influenced her?
That's strange, moss-covered man we saw in town
Oh, that freaky
appeared
guy.
out of a tree.
The yeah,
He
yeah.
pierced her with his finger.
He said some
Yeah,
stuff,
that
but
fucker. Yeah.
yeah, he said some stuff that I can't remember right now, but I'm sure it'll come back to me.
He appeared and was watching her from behind a tree and then appeared in front of her. When she jumped back finally, she was restrained by the vines, and he stabbed her with his finger, and she went limp again as if she died. He walked away, kept checking back to make sure that she was dead, and walked into the tree and vanished within the tree. And then moments later, my mother stood again. No wounds or anything on her again. And then she went to go walk towards the mountain to climb it again, and stopped, turned around with her eyes turning white, and started walking away.
Well, he could have healed her in some way, but he doesn't seem the type to do that for no reason. He
All I
seemed
know is
kind
if
of
it's
icky to
linked
me.
and he's doing something to my mother, controlling her somehow, he must die.
Well, maybe we might want to capture him first, and maybe he can point us towards your mother.
Depends on how he acts. If he chooses to be unforthcoming, then I will rip him in half.
Mama Man looks him up and down and goes, "Yeah, I've seen you do that once."
That won't be the only time.
Yeah, just
But to think,
never do that to me, okay?
you
Let
have
me
nothing
know
to
if
worry
I
about,
anger
little
you in any
friend.
way whatsoever.
I'll never hurt you, little friend.
Oh, thanks, big guy.
Thank you. And I
Do you want this? And he lifts up the cape that he dropped. It seems to move on its own, and I don't know, like I don't feel a breeze, but it's kind of flapping a bit.
I'll put a cape on.
You look heroic as fuck.
You now have a cape of billowing.
They call it a cape of bellowing.
Yep. The only thing it does is, upon command, it makes you look heroic as fuck, and the cape will flap in the breeze when there is no breeze. Like,
It's a +1 to Riz.
yeah, basically.
Milady.
Next time I go to Giant's Might, I'm gonna fire my bow, and as it fires, the Riz kicks in. Whoa.
Everyone
Get
make
it
a charisma
chiseled.
saving throw.
You failed, you fall in love.
Yeah, you buckle at the knee. Anyway, okay.
Well, while Bjorn's telling Mumble Man this, by the end of the story, Barney has his whole fist jammed in his mouth, so he doesn't make like a joke about all the words that Bjorn's using, like and the way everything sounds. He's like trying to fight off making a joke because he knows how serious it is. He's got like his whole fist in his mouth to stop himself by the end of it.
Here's your mom.
Yeah, your mom got fingered.
There's just white stuff
Okay.
There's just
Dude,
white stuff everywhere, and just I don't.
Barney's
what?
gonna be like,
Maybe
Barney's
I
gonna be
made
like,
an
I've sent a few people eyes glazed over after I gave them my white stuff.
You're, you're right. I wasn't paying attention, Josh. Thank you for opening my eyes.
You know what? The substance isn't white anymore. Okay, it's fucking, like looks like fucking Kool-Aid. Okay?
I mean, you're the one that said it was root milk, so.
yeah. Oh my obliviousness. Or was it?
Bum bum bum.
Yeah, I'm mewing right now. All right.
Bjorn kind of looks at Barney like, "Why is your hand in your mouth?"
I'll drink it all.
Open mouth, insert fist. But yes, you guys have had a successful short rest, probably pushing the hour 10 mark. Barney's holding back on his jokes, but you all hear Bjorn's compelling vision here. You hear a little bit of the outside wind pick up, kind of blows through the open doorway into there. It sort of flutters the flames on some of the sconces that are still alight in here.
I say we maybe go check out what's in this chamber. Maybe that's what's drawing the goblin to come back here.
Well, yeah, we can
Once
go.
we figure out the trap.
I'm pretty handy. I might be able to help with that.
What say the rest of you?
Yeah. Give it a try.
Else is rested up and ready. Let's make our way.
Making our way. Okay, sure. Okay, so you guys all begin to head out of the barracks. You sort of find yourself back out onto the grounds of the nestled nook. The oxen still out here tied up. So much away on stuff that was left for it. Kind of turns to you as you all reemerge out onto the main part. Some of the embers from some of these things have burnt out a bit in that time frame. It's just kind of have this rolling bit of smoke that's adding to the small layer of pre-existing smoke that was lingering within the walls.
Y'all remember the path to get back that way?
Yeah, what's the most direct route back to the
You would go back through.
So this side.
Yeah. They both actually seem to connect to that central chamber from either building that you would have gone through.
Yeah.
But you do begin to make your way back inside, retracing your steps through the interior of these I guess I'm not going to say the mess hall side, sure. But you make your way through onto that pathway where it would converge to that path where you have sort of left it. The tunnel, it becomes quite dark within the, I guess, tunnel leading towards that area. I believe Altair, you had a torch going. Someone did. Someone had a torch going. But I know Mumbleman and Bjorn. But between Barney and Altair, you sort of split a torch and begin to head down that pathway. The smell is a bit, I'm not going to say dank, but it has that sort of musty smell to it. But after about 40 or so feet pushing down this hallway, you start to see the opposite end of this.
Keeping a real close eye out for traps, since we know that there are some in the area.
Yeah, and you see old boxes and crates that are like long moldy sitting in certain corners, just nestled into the stonework of this tunnel. And you can begin to see the difference and change in the stonework, like where this building met older foundation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
that darker, the modern stone marges with that older material, very visible from the more different prominent. The tower passage goes for a bit longer before it reveals this room that comes into view through this dim lit interior. You see in here 4 stone sconces that sit on different spots. Hold on, let me switch. You see 4 sconces that sit on different spots outside this large sort of wrought iron gate, 3 deep in layers, and it makes it really difficult to see past each section just due to overgrowth and cobwebs in the age. In the center, you see a large iron gate that lay closed. On each side of the gate is about a foot or 2 away these windmill-like blades that are affixed to a chain mechanism in a riding track. It looks like this is that trapped portion that they were trying to figure out. You see that the sconces near the front show signs of char or ignition, and it sort of marred the outside of it in soot. There are small piles of sticks. They most likely were trying to use it to keep a fire going in here. Within the first section of gate, there are 2 large spiked pits that sit on either side of this sort of narrow walkway between each gate. 4 more sconces sit in different positions and are more precarious to get to. From within the pits, you start to see a little bit of a blue faint glow, but it's difficult to truly gauge the depth of it as we're close to it. But this seems to continue on several legs before reaching this ornate door that's affixed to the side of the tower face. And it has these opposing statues on either side of the entrance with vines and brambles that stick to the side of the stonework and climb up to the ceiling.
Sorry.
All is well. You can see blood on the floor as well, a bit dried and coagulated, most likely victims that were aforementioned in some of those notes. There's even a portion where it's off to the side, Mumbleman and Bjorn, you see where they might have dragged someone off to afterwards. But each one of these sconces shows blackening on the tops of them, like they were attempting to light them.
Is this anything over here?
Indeed. So you see a number of old stacked up crates, old barrels, vases, and other things. You kind of walk over there and you can see sitting on the top of one of these crates is this open, small little case. And on the inside of it, there's a number of small picks and little tiny screwdrivers and 90-degree hooks and this small circular hook with like a finger hole thing through it and like a small little clamp. Looks like intricate small tools that someone has left.
Does it look like a thieves' kit?
It looks like a thieves' kit, yes.
Okay, because I have a thieves' kit, but I will actually take this for extra pieces.
Okay.
Yeah,
you can
over
see
here.
you can see that there's a satchel sitting on the top of this one that isn't as old and dusty as some of the other around it. You sort of like kind of look at it and it's kind of rusting open already, like someone had spread out supplies in this area and have just left this one behind. Within the satchel, there's only a few scrolls of paper, a bit moldy now just from sitting in here, and some light rations and an extra shirt. Nothing major as far as wealth or value within, but just most likely someone's personal belongings that set down here before they forgot it. As well as a decent sized backpack.
Like old cloth or something I see sitting around.
Absolutely.
Or
You can see that shirt inside the backpack, as well as within some of these, you can see some really, really old like linen bolts, but quite old. This is the pile of sticks and stuff that they had gathered here, most likely trying to keep the fire going. And but yeah, you see the roots and vines have come through and are starting to cover parts of the stone wall and the gate before you as well. But yeah, these are those windmill-like blades that sit sort of resting in the middle here. And you have found the mentioned chamber where they had had a bit of perplexing trying to figure it out. So yes, Mumbleman, you snagged that.
Once I snag that, these jars and vials, containers over here, do they all have like the same thing in it, or is it multiple different things?
A lot of them are. You kind of look up to them. None of them have tops on them or caps. Most likely, and some of them are even cracked or broken. They've probably been sitting here for a pretty long time.
Okay. Gonna go back and stand, 15 feet back from. How long are the blades on those windmill blade things?
So perspective wise, I've got it laid out that you can see past it, although you can't climb over. These wrought irons run from the floor to the ceiling. Obviously, it's a hard to gauge perspective with this image you have here, but it makes it so you can't just simply climb over anything. But the blades are probably about 10 feet tall, and they are guided along this mechanical track that is fixed to the wrought iron gate. And it seems to split like it has these guideline channels where they would run probably across the length of it back and forth, or potentially pivot, spin, and go vertically. Oh, sorry, not vertically, horizontally across.
Okay. So they would reach about 10 feet out if they go horizontally.
It seems like it has a bit of reach, and if you are near the sources, you can definitely see the pools of blood that have dried up near them. It would be very reactionary with proximity.
Okay, so looking at the track, do I think I can be damaged or jammed in any way?
You can make a investigation check to start to gauge. Immediately looking at it, you can see, okay, yeah, the tracks, they're pretty strong looking, made of iron, pretty old. They're not extremely rusty either. So it's pretty well preserved in here as far as erosion of the metal. So it definitely looks like it might be operational.
I believe
But
it to be
you can see the way that the chains are run along the bottom and the top sort of guidelines, and the track that's on. Do you have that check?
Sorry, you want an investigations check? Yes.
Yeah. As you start to studying along the track, you can definitely see that like, you might be able to hinder it, but you don't know what the torque is behind this operation or how mechanical it is. So it might be something you might be able to try and jam something in it, but you're unsure if it's going to hold it.
Yeah. If anybody else has got thoughts or things they want to do, I'm gonna read a couple of things here for a second.
I'd like to investigate the little pillars.
The sconces here?
Yeah.
Okay. There are 4 of them in a row here in this line. Looking through the gate, you can see that they alter differently as it progresses through. But the 4 that are here, you can see some charring on the top of them, like people have definitely tried to light them in more recent time. They have no buildup of dust or cobweb on them, and you're unsure how the mechanism is affected by these sconces at first glance. If you want to make an investigation check as well, you can try to trace what and where they go to.
I'll guidance myself and do that.
Yeah, you will.
Ew. Well,
Okay. You are unsure with how this would affect the mechanism and the gate itself, but you can definitely see that the attempts have been made at these to ignite them.
well.
I ask Altier, did you leave the shirt or the bolt cloth over there?
I didn't take anything.
I come over here and yell, does anybody want the shirt?
No, can't you see I'm
Nope.
deep in thought over here? I'm trying to work this shit out.
Barney's just kind of like watching what Mumbleman's doing over his shoulder. Oh, I'm good.
I want to take 4 of my arrows, and on each arrow, wrap some of the cloth around it.
Okay.
And what I want to do is I want to light the cloth with the torch and try to shoot an arrow on each one of the sconce and get
Okay.
the fire to go on it.
Okay. Which one do you shoot at first?
I would suggest the ones not with the blood biome.
Shoot
First.
this one first.
Okay, so you hit that one first, and it lights up on the top. Obviously, you're a skilled shot. I'm not going to make you roll to hit on these things. You're also like 10, 15 feet away. So it's not so much bad. You hit that one first, boom, it lights and stays lit. Which one would you like to shoot at next? I know you said you're going to shoot at all 4, but which order would that one there?
This
Okay.
one.
You shoot that one there, and it ignites for a second before both of these both go out, and then the blades and start to move back and forth along the whole entire length of the track of this gate, and they start to cross each other's paths after about 10 seconds of movement, and they're spinning pretty quickly and covering ground really well, enough that each blade movement makes probably 2 revolutions or cycles across the entire gate in that time frame before the sconces do not glow any further and the blades lock in place, but no one's within proximity for them to do anything.
Okay. So we know for sure, and I point at that one. That's number 1.
Okay. How are you igniting your clothed arrows?
The
Like
torch.
oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
The
But
torch
yeah,
and just get it caught on fire. Thump.
yeah, the fucking idiot. But yeah, you shoot this one again, and it lights up. Stay lit.
I'm gonna aim at this one next.
Shoot at this one next, and it stays lit. You see up at the top on one side of the pillar near the roof, it lights up on one side of the door. And they seem to have stayed lit at this time as well.
Shoot that one.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Let's shoot this one next.
Okay, you shoot that one next, and they all go out, and then the blades repeat that. Walk back in place.
Do it. Get some more of that shirt and wrap it on them. A couple more arrowheads.
Yep, okay. And you start to
Shoot
repeat
that one.
your process.
Shoot that one. Shoot that one.
it,
And then shoot that one.
and it that one lights up. The secondary torch near the top opens. The gate and pulls open. Obviously, I can't move this gate, but this gate here opens from the middle inwards, and you can see it sort of spin on its axis after it reaches the open point, enough that it blocks the mechanism of the blades from operating. And it reveals the second path, or the second part of this leg beyond that.
Can you hit the other sconces from this distance?
I can. One. 2 of them max at this. Well, I can shoot through these bars, can I?
I would ask for attack rolls on the further ones because of the. I guess you have sharpshooter. It would be a bit of a. It would take a bit. Yeah, you'd have to roll to hit the distant ones, but the ones that are closer to you, yes, where you are.
I'll prepare up 4 more, one by one, kind of getting it lit,
Okay.
and I will take shot at that sconce.
Okay. You take a shot at that sconce, and it lights up before it stops, and all of them go out. The gate in the middle of the room slams shut, and the blades on both the first section of wrought iron gate and second section of wrought iron gate begin to spiral up and go. The first one swing across. These ones seem to bind up for a second in the back row, as then they eventually break through the built-up vines that had grown around them and begin to and the lock in place. But then this gate slams closed in the middle, and all of the sconces burn up.
I tell Bjorn to
Oh,
save his arrows and light a second torch from the torch that's lit,
Okay.
and I will try and do the order for the first 4.
Okay.
Which you want me to repeat it?
I do. Yes, I do.
Good thing I was taking notes then.
Let's say Bjorn remembers it. Boom,
So
boom,
actually, no. Here, what I'll
boom,
do is
boom.
Muscle Man will move to that one,
Yep.
and then to that one, and then over into this one, and then to this one, and I will immediately step back.
That one reopens again, sort of clicking back in place of locking the first door, revealing that second part to you.
All right, big guy, take a shot.
All right. I'm gonna take aim at this one way over here.
Sorry, the left or the right side? Sorry, I didn't see the ping.
Left.
Left side.
Left side, okay. You're going to shoot at it from where you are?
I'm gonna kind of angle myself like right here to kind of give myself a little bit of
Okay.
a view.
Go ahead and make an attack roll against that sconce, please and thank you. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, that one hits, and that one stays alight. Seems to stay lit.
what a
Doesn't.
guess.
You're waiting and you're waiting, and you're like, oh, okay.
Okay, so now we know the order here. That's number 1.
Sorry, this might feel a bit tedious, but yes, this is a puzzle, so I'm not going to go so easy.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'd say try the
I
other
would
one
say
on the left side.
no. I would say try this one, but that's me.
Which one?
The one in the front at the right side, which no
I'll shoot
attack roll on
at
it.
the one Mama Man suggested.
Yeah.
Okay. You shoot that one without issue. That one doesn't require a shot because it's not super far away. Also, have you been regathering arrows?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. So yeah, you shoot this one here, and in similar fashion, resets the entire room.
I was wrong.
So
Feel even you, Barney, you sort of feel something for the first little bit, and you realize it's just the debris stirring from the ceiling with all the mechanical movement from within this room. Sort of scares you for a moment, but it's just the realization that the things are stirring with all this moving mechanical parts in here.
I'm just gonna keep my eye and make sure a rock doesn't fall.
Up like 12 more arrows, roughly.
I'm assuming Altair's doing that one, and then I'll do that.
Repeat, we are here again.
I'll take my shot at that one.
An 11 will hit that one. That one lights up. Yeah, they're not super difficult to hit. It's just more or less
Yep.
a small attempt. Not.
There's a small chance of failure, which resets the whole
Yes.
thing.
I would do 1, 2, 4, 3.
I'll give this one a shot.
You hit that one. Stays lit. Okay.
Take aim at this one over here and take a shot.
Oh, sorry, that one lights up this side here. Sorry. And you take a shot at that one. Oh, sorry, go to hit. 20 definitely hits. So that one lights up, and you take a moment, and it stays.
Then I
Okay.
fire at that one.
And it opens up the third leg of this trap. And you can see this one in the middle. It swings open again, and then pulls back and locks in place. And you can hear the mechanism snap on either side. And these mechanisms are coming from somewhere within these portions of stuck-out wall. But yeah, these seem to lock in, and you have gotten yourself past into the second portion here. The third portion, if you are trying to take aim at the sconces, that is going to be quite the shot to get through. And you can see also on the third section that there is double the amount of bladed sections that are on the mechanism as well.
Now that these are lit, can I re-investigate them to see if there's anything? I mean, or the yeah, I guess just re-investigate them to see if there's anything that
Indicates
aligns
the
with
order
some
that
sort
we
of
chose.
order.
Sure, you can make an investigation check if you wish.
Bjorn kind of runs over real quick. Mumble Man, do
Guidance.
you have any more acid that we can pour on the door mechanism
I have one
so it's
vial of
locked?
acid.
So we can like sever the chain on these, so where all of a sudden it stays open, and the blades can't activate on this back one.
I have possibly. I was about to actually ask Cody about that after.
We could try the
done.
vine milk.
14, I'll go back to Altair. 14 on that. You start to study these sconces, and you sort of, with the repetitious amounts trying, you start to study, try to see why or how it's operating, but you start to look around and you're like, okay, does it go into the floor? I don't really know. And it was like, you got the two on one side that seem to open the latch or lock on this side, and it lights the sconce at the top. So there's some sort of arcana at play here that you're not tracing or finding in this moment.
Okay.
So, the question that was raised, or that I want to raise to you, Cody, is: does Mumbo Man believe the acid that he can make will damage the tract enough to sever it?
Make a general intelligence. And I'm going to say, as you begin to look at some of the mechanisms and chain on it, the chain is really thick, albeit a bit older, you can tell. But the way that the guides and track run along. So let's see what that roll was.
If only I had some higher being help for this role.
Oh, yeah, I can guide it to you. I forget that's a... Yeah.
Okay. Plus a d4.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you would see that with enough acid, you're sure that it could probably damage something. but with the immediate effects that you've seen with your is this like cantrip or your
It's not
acid you have in
cantrip.
the
It's
vial?
from it's the acid you get out of the jug of alchemy.
Okay, you would realize that it would take quite a bit to burn through all this thick metal,
Yeah.
and even if you pour it into the track, it's kind of just riding in there in a floating fashion. It's not necessarily affixed to it in any way like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a guide channel. You would
So-
need a lot of acid to probably burn the chains
Yeah.
to
So
actually make it not function properly.
yeah, I let Bjorn know that I don't think my acid is strong enough.
And yeah, Bjorn, if you were looking to shoot at these again, you'd probably have to move up a tier to get a clear shot past all of the blade traps and other debris in your way.
Now, if I'm standing like right here, I'll get hit by all those blades, right? They cover the whole room.
They switch. So okay, this perspective, my explanation. When they start to spin along the track, they are vertical like they're displayed currently, and then on the back track they spin and then go sideways across, which would reach most likely, especially since two of these ones are lit. If both of these blades moved at the same time, you would most likely get hit if you were in the middle. Especially in the center part, like where you've been before has kind of been at safe distance. If you're in any of these tiers of gate, the two moving blade traps would eventually hit somebody, unless you are down a hole, for example, or not. But there is obviously save in regards to those. But yes, you would realize pretty quickly you would most likely be clipped by the.
I tell everyone, okay. I am going to give me a second. Come over here, gather up some sticks and stuff to make like a little fire. And I'm going to walk in here.
Okay.
Build a little fire in here,
Okay.
like in the center, so I can light stuff. Then I'm gonna take out the 150 feet of rope that I have, and I'm going to fasten it around one of these pillars sticking up. Since
Okay.
obviously these blades don't hit them at all because they're still standing.
Yep.
I'm gonna fasten it in a way to where it won't give way, and I'm going to wrap some of it around myself and then fasten some more of it to the other side so it makes like a basket. So I can
Okay.
kind of just jump down in the hole really quick.
How deep is the hole?
Would you like to?
I want to look down the hole. How deep is it?
Okay. Which are you looking at? The one on the left, the one that's closest to you?
Yes.
You can see a bit of a faint glow as you get close to it, and you can look down, and it probably drops about 15 feet down into the hole, and then kind of has a bit of a ramp downward on a pretty precarious angle that seems to plummet a little bit out of sight. But you make out a very small sliver of like what looks to be a slightly blue and illuminated cave floor beneath that, probably 30, 40 feet down.
Like it drops quite a bit, guys.
Yeah, it drops a
Slides off.
total of 40 feet, including that drop down, and then so it would technically be 15 feet down to the angle and then 25 feet down after that.
Ouch. Okay. So, I kind of turn back to everyone. Here's what I'm gonna do. From here, my shots aren't as high of a DC to hit, correct?
They have technically a higher, well, from here, yeah, there would be a slightly increase in their technical AC per se, but yeah.
From inside this room that I'm in?
Yeah, if
Am I
you're in
walking
here,
inside
they're
this?
still a little bit higher because of where you are, but if you were back where they are, it's even higher.
Okay.
So you have an easier
So,
shot from there. What are you
I'm
gonna
gonna
do
take
if?
shots from here. If it triggers, I'm gonna slide into there and kind of grab hold, but use that rope to kind of help support my weight. So it's easier for me to hold myself up at strength. And then when it stops, I'll pull myself back up and try again.
You said you had 150 feet of rope?
Yes.
What if we created a spider web across
To
the top
just
of the hole?
jump on it.
Yeah, and you can jump on it and duck. Like, so it sinks down like 5 feet or so, like a little bit loose, but not. You're not aiming for a single rope sort of thing, so you've got a better chance of not falling all the way down. Slash, you don't even have to climb all the way up. You just have to kind of look up to fire your next shot. But either way, it's
Start
good for.
fastening it into like a big spiderweb basket thing over
Yeah.
this hole.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I hate to do this to your map, Cody.
No, that's okay. Draw away. You need to.
You know,
So you're essentially
How
gonna
wide?
you're gonna weave across.
Yeah.
Back and
Yeah.
forth.
but loosely enough that he'll definitely be under the blades when they're flying.
Okay.
Is that not better than going all the way down?
Well, I wouldn't have gone all the way down, but
Well,
yeah, I can.
but is multiple ropes not better than one rope too, in case there's a snap or something?
Yeah. So I use all 150 feet and make that pretty much like a big basket over it,
Okay.
a weave, so I can kind of just lay on it and hide from the blades and kind of get back up, take my shot.
Okay.
Okay, so it
All
takes
right.
a few minutes. I do that, pull out
Mumble Man's
one of the
confident enough
arrows.
that he's actually gonna join you, but he's gonna be already on the thing.
Kind of tell Altair and Barney, do y'all remember the pattern for the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barney's still
So
looking
we
up
got
at
the
the roof.
pattern.
He goes, "What?"
It's okay, guys. Everyone kind of step back. I'm gonna take out the arrow.
I have a guess for the combination.
You
Okay.
also, just not to cut you guys off. Also, Bjorn, with the amount of cloth you've used from that shirt too, you're getting a bit low just on with the repetitious of reigniting and reshooting and reigniting.
Hold on one second. I kind of run out. Go over here and I grab those 2 bolts of cloth
Okay. Okay.
and come back in so that way
Yeah.
I can just wrap the arrowhead with it and light it and
Yeah.
shoot it right quick.
Okay.
Looks like a mom at a hobby store on Black Friday.
Uh-huh. Got it. All right. So I take another arrow and which one do you think I should try to shoot at, Altair?
I'd say top right.
All right. I kind of get over in position and
Okay.
that one up there, Altair.
Yeah.
Take an aim at it and shoot at it with a lit.
That arrow's
arrow.
lit. Definitely hits. The sconce hits. It lights up for a second before it fizzles out.
All right.
You hear the loud clank of mechanical snap as all of the sconces in the room. I can quickly delete them all, but they
Don't worry
all
about it. We get it.
fade out. I need Bjorn and Mumbleman to make deck saves with advantage because of your web nest here within this pit. Both succeed. Okay, yes. You jump onto that net real quick. You kind of have this moment of like, oh hey, as like about a foot or so above, maybe 2 feet above your head, as these double blades just are moving in unison across the room, and then it sort of blows out the small fire that you had lit up in the center of the room. It just scatters the wood around and sort of scatters the embers around before, and then both gates slam shut again. And you're kind of
Wow. Fuck.
now you're also in that moment too. You realize that you're kind of trapped in too with with all these gates being closed like that.
I really keep my eye on the roof when the gates are slamming closed, or slamming shut.
Yeah, it does stir up some more dust that sort of loosely falls off, but nothing major at this moment. Mumble Man, as well as you're sort of laying there on the web of rope, you see the
Is there?
illumination of blue below from down in this pit. And sorry, what's that, Josh?
Sorry, I just didn't get my mic muted in time. I was just responding to someone.
Okay. Okay. We are back to square one.
I'll get like these.
'Kay.
Boom. 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 Can I get 4 big booms?
You get fucking yeah as that gate slams open and you sort of free your two fellow party members
And
as
Mumble
well as
Man crawls over here.
okay.
And then
You're able to sort of walk by, although you realize that you can get the orders right if you were just simply trying to pass by these areas and not get hit. It's like, okay, that would be quite devastating to be caught between that. But yeah, you light these two up. Yeah.
and open that one,
Look at you guys.
and then that one, and then I go back in my hidey hole.
Okay. And you are back here again. You sort of kick those ember piles over again and reignite your little flame pile.
Yep, give me a little bit more sticks, put it on there. I scoot it back a little bit to where it's more like right here, so maybe the wind won't be as bad on it.
Okay.
Okay, so we know it's not that back right one. Okay. So I want to light that, and I want to take a shot at this front left.
Okay. An 8. That does not hit, actually. The arrow bounces off the side of the sconce and then falls down the hole. And Mumbleman, even from where you are, you hear a little bit of a tink and clank from underneath your pit. Doesn't seem to. You're like, shoot it.
Cue another one up, take a shot.
You do. That one hits and motherfuckingly resets the entire room.
I jump over here.
Yeah, you do. Jesus Christ. Dex saves with advantage again from the two of you. Mumbleman. So yeah, 20. Oh, damn, not 20. Oh!
Oh,
I don't
Double
think
20s,
Mumbleman's.
baby.
I don't think Mumbleman's rolled under a 20 on a dexterity save.
I know. It's
Oh,
crazy.
sure.
The most
Thanks for
agile
jinxing
old
me. Bjorn, Bjorn better not screw this next one up.
Incoming 4-5 on the next one.
But yes, again, you find yourself your little pile of flame didn't go out with that, but everything has unfortunately been reset. Sorry, I feel like this is just tedious, but this is the way it's going to be.
Well, can we jump this process, or do you want it? Because we obviously
No,
got the first two jumps.
especially with the first ones, you guys have done it enough times that it's starting to just become slightly repetitious. So you reignite all of the sconces in order again, then lights up again, and kind of you're realizing too that you're making probably far more progress than anyone else that has been here has had the opportunity to.
Well, yeah, we don't see any blood in this middle section here.
When this opens, Barney goes, "Oh, I have an idea. Try one of the other two."
Jesus Christ. All right.
That is like the
Okay.
wisest thing I've ever heard come out of your mouth, Barney.
All right. What do y'all think? Left or right? It's either left back or right front.
I don't know. I'd say Barney. Choose.
Yeah, Barney, choose.
Well, I've always heard left is lucky.
All right. I'll take a shot at the left back one.
You do. 22 hits. And it lights up. Stays
Okay.
lit.
There's number one. Get up another one. I want to.
I look up. Is there anything written on the ceiling?
Make a perception check.
I'm not even gonna guidance myself.
Yeah, no, it's you start to look up and you can see the old stonework in here. There's a number of very similar markings for what the floor is made out of. It seems to be like this old, really old, like either Gothic tile, decorative flooring. It's similar to that on the floor as it is to the ceiling, but you don't see any specific markings or indications as to an order or a sequence in which these would operate.
Okay.
Seems at the moment now, unless you know beforehand, that trial and tribulation until you figure it out. And it's a bit more precarious for those trapped inside than for Barney and Alter, just kind of sitting back watching. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Barney. Which one next?
Oh, my mic is muted. Barney's like, gotta be left again.
Shot the other left one.
Okay. Team would hit. Hits. You watch the top of the gate on that side.
Okay.
Okay. That's two.
What do y'all think? Far right or close right?
He's like, it's obviously the bottom right.
Right. Which one's bottom?
Close right.
Alright. Take a shot at the close right one.
Closer right. Closer. 15 hits the closer right. As it hits, it lights up and stays lit.
The last one.
Yeah, you do.
Altair just butters under his breath. I need to start drinking.
It lights up and you hear a loud click as the third gate opens, and all of the blade traps don't spin on their axis, but the mechanism pulls the blades all against the sides of the wall. As the path of three gates lies completely open, all of the sconce fade out from light, but the top gate lights still stay on. And you have a clear path towards the large door at the end of the hall.
I start undoing the rope.
So yeah, I kind of help you so I can get my rope back.
You see at the end of the hall that there is a large ornate door that's currently closed. On either side of them are some really old, dilapidated statues of what looks to be like either soldiers or knights or something like that. But they are quite crumbled, like the stone was made out of either like a softer mineral or something. They've slightly eroded compared to the rest of the room around.
I get my rope back in my pack.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I can't
All right,
figure out how
guys.
to delete that, so.
One or two things are about to happen. We're gonna come through here, figure out how to open the door, or we're gonna come through here and these statues are gonna attack.
I'm gonna
You can see some of the. You can see a lot of the queen's vines have sort of crept through as you see large roots have broken up through some of the floor in the corners and then have spread its vines and bramble all across the section of roof and ceiling and has crept along the walls to the outer portion of the door itself. Mumbleman, you walk up and you can see that these are definitely former statues of knights or something like that that are just either on guard or are decorative beside this door.
gonna give this one a good investigation, though.
Okay. You can investigate
Yeah.
or perceive if you so choose. Your call.
I want to check out the other one.
You start to look at one on your side, and you can see that it definitely resembles some sort of plate wearing knight before the erosion kicks in. And you're making out the details of it. They have a spear and a shield. And it looks like there's a plaque at one point, but it's long eroded and sort of unreadable. But underneath where the writing would have been, there is this depiction of a small crescent moon with like a dot in the middle and like three dots underneath it and a line. That's about the only thing left on it that you can really recognize. And Bjorn, you do the same thing over there.
Yeah, I don't
This
see
looks like
shit.
a fucking old shitty statue. I don't know. Fuck this statue. No, there's a lot or make out with it. It's like, oh yeah, it looks like a statue.
Mumble Man goes over to Bjorn and checks out to see if there's a different symbol underneath where the plaque would have been.
That one, the plaque has like one or two letters of whatever it could be at the beginning, just like HE, and then all illegible, and then underneath it, it still has that very same crescent moon, but then the dots are all eroded away.
Well, I'm gonna give this door a once over for traps.
Okay.
And hope that it's not trapped and that I don't set it off.
Can
Okay.
I guidance him as well as assist?
Sure, you could.
So I guess that's plus a D4 and advantage.
Yep. So you can either make an investigation check with advantage with guidance, or you can make a perception check with advantage with guidance.
Investigation.
Okay. Momo Man has also rolled 2 natural 20s today for his fucking so far. 23. So you start to look at the door and you can definitely see 25.
25.
You can see the vines have really rooted themselves along like one of the prime, I'm going to say hinges or pivots. So it might take a bit of strength to open the door. But the beginning, you start to look around the base and you can see a buildup of dust and mildew has sealed sort of the bottom. So it definitely hasn't been opened for a very, very long time. You don't see anything that resembles linked chain or switches or knobs or levers that are affixed to any hinges. But it has two large draw handles, like the door pushes open, and you don't see anything that looks like it's trapped.
I don't see any arcane symbols or anything either.
You see no sigils. You see nothing of the matter.
Well, I think the trap is behind us, but you might want to stand back.
Are you opening the door? Like,
Well, unless you want to.
I'll do it.
I say I'll do it.
Mumble Man wipes his brow. Goes, all right then, and takes a deep breath.
No longer shaking.
Yeah.
Just
Cody,
I'll push the door.
Yeah.
just timing and anticipation wise, you are like 5 minutes to 9 right now.
Yes, I understand. Thank you, though. I am watching. Bjorn, you go up to what are you going to try and do here, Mumble Man? Are you getting a running start at it?
No, I was stepping back because somebody else volunteered to open it.
Oh, sorry. I thought you. Okay, sorry. Bjorn, yes, you walk up to the door and you sort of start to push on it or pull. But go ahead and make a strength check for me, please.
What did I have? Push and pull is what doubled for me.
Yeah, I think so, isn't it?
And do you have advantage on strength checks or no? Only in giant form?
Um, bum, bum. Sorry, guys.
you're all
I
good.
thought I had this written in there.
It's all right.
I should ask. Okay, I count as one size larger when determining carrying capacity and the weight you can push, drag, or lift.
Okay, so you definitely get advantage then, right?
Yeah. Advantage.
17. So yes, you begin to pull on it instinctually because it has handles like that, and you realize, okay, and when you pull it, it moves slightly,
No,
but then kind of
this is where
latches,
Mullen yells, "Push, not pull!"
and like you kind of realize that as he says it too. You're like, oh yeah, and then you begin to push, and with a moderate amount of force behind you, you kind of start to push the door open. When you push the door open, it reveals a chamber inside the tower portion of the keep. Um, Once the door cracks as well, you're all met with this blue illuminating light that's coming from some sort of contraption in the center of the room. The chamber is circular. There is a torch that is burning on the floor across the way. The smell hits you as well of like brimstone or something's burning or has been burning in here for a long period of time. You also see a number of boxes, crates. Torch that you see is burning on the floor right here, and it has left a large char mark on the ground around them and has burned part of the robes of the skeletal remains of some figure that has died on the floor here. In this chamber as well, you see all manner of tables, tools, bottles, books, pieces of paper, backpacks, books, and crates. Oops, that's not there. At the end of the hallway, there is a entrance to a stairwell that goes down. But in the center of the room, you see this contraption that goes almost halfway up to about, not halfway, it's about 25 or so feet tall. At the top of it, Altair, you recognize what looks to be like a large focusing plate or beam plate, and a contraption at the bottom that seems to operate this machine or this device or whatever it is here. Again, the smell is of this long burning stone smell, but you are within the center chamber of the Tower of Nestled Nook, a feat that hasn't been obtained by people in a very long time. With that, we're going to go to break.
Good.
I will be back momentarily. I have to help Danny put something with Mia real quick and then be back.
And take your time, man.
Okay. Noise. I would like to have a little bit of a shorter session. Fucking Tucker.
Yep.
Shit. So we'll go through a little bit of what's going on before we pick up again. But yes, unusually in that you've noticed that this chamber has indeed been sealed for as long as it's been rumored to. There is a torch burning on the ground. Now it is just laying flat on the ground, and you can smell that scent of burning stone. And even within a proximity of a few feet around it, it has charred the stone black where it sits. Again, the first and main focus of this room is a familiar blue glow. Altair, you sort of recognize this glow, especially from a lot of your studies of crystals and things like that. And it resembles the same coloration as some of the more natural formed crystals in the world. But there is this device that has a number of different platforms that lead to it. But you haven't seen something like this before. No one has. The only thing that's familiar to you, Altair, at first glance is the top portion of it. That focus or focal device at the top looks very similar to those that your crystalline circle would use with their telescopes to map the stars.
Okay.
But again, there is a large amount of study notes, just things strewn across the entirety of this room.
Well, question for the group. Do we
Mhm.
want to reset that trap behind us or leave the way open?
I'd say leave it open because we're not going to get to that first sconce.
It would be a difficult shot,
so-
but okay.
That'd be a really hard shot. That'd be
We
shooting
could jump.
through.
We could jump from the top
The
of the
middle
tower.
one, the middle ones would be pretty much impossible. They're right behind the pillar.
Mhm.
Barney will actually wait like a whole minute before he follows everyone else. I had stayed like all the way back.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that.
Barney will wait like a full minute after they enter the room and make sure the gates don't close on everyone, and then he'll follow up.
Okay. And yeah, with the activation of all those sconces in correct order, the 3 gates open in sequence and then remain open. The main door opens up, Barney, and you watch that glow illuminate the figures of the 3 other party members before they walk in and start to take in with whatever's inside. You wait a bit, feel like it's good, sort of make
Double
your
check
way
the
up.
roof before I go.
Yeah, nothing seems to change. It was more or less just stirring ancient debris, I guess you can say, as it was open.
That's fair. I didn't want to. I just wanted to make sure it could have been, you know.
Yeah. But yes, you all begin to sort of branch out and head into this large circular chamber here.
I want to go check out this ever-burning torch, apparently.
Sorry. Yes, you walk up. You can see the remains of a somewhat mummified corpse. It was robed at one point. The robes are dark with like this white sort of inlay, but it's quite dusty and covered in that. But the flame has sort of burnt away the hood of the figure that was in here a bit, just proximity. But yeah, the torch is aglow on the ground, and you can feel the heat coming off of it, like it has burnt here for a very, very long time. The
So
torch
is it
base, like the handle and like sconce part of it, is quite intricate as well. It's covered in little runes and sigils and things like that, and it has almost like a small cage, like a candelabra would have, sort of. So it's a pretty ornate looking torch burning around.
would I recognize any of the runes on it?
You can make an Arcana check if you so choose. You don't recognize them. They're a little foreign to you as far as their meaning. They are not of your giant speak or the runes that you're familiar with. That's slightly different, though.
Don't kill me, guys. I want to kind of slowly reach out and kind of grab the torch.
And you do. It's pretty hot to the touch, just probably because it's been sitting there for so long. But you sort of pick it up, and the flames sort of lick a little bit before you kind of have this torch in your hand.
I hold the torch up and have my cape flicker. Hello.
Nice, yeah, you do.
Molo Man looks up at the exact second he does that with a complete awe on his face.
Barney, you make your way inside after that period of time, and sort of scanning around and looking around, you notice on different portions and sections of the wall in here that same crescent moon-like sigil that you've seen Valeria describe to you on the walls in here.
Okay. Oh.
And Altair as well, studying this thing. This contraption looks very familiar to a degree. Again, just the more focal point at the top. The rest of it, you're kind of unsure.
Molo Man starts going through these notes and packages and stuff. The whole time he's doing that, he is mumbling to himself about, should have kept the damn cape. That cape is mine.
He looked so cool.
He'll never look that good. Not fair. Maybe I can get him back to me.
I just have a torch now.
Yes, you have a pretty intricate looking torch. You could spend some time with it if you so choose to try and ascertain what it's all about.
Yeah, I want to kind of check it out for a little bit.
Okay. And you do. What is everyone else doing?
I'm gonna look. So I don't really want to. I don't know what this device is, and I don't want to. Well, I do, but is there any like other crystals around that it looks like they might have used to make this?
So you notice the floor glows with the similarity of the blue color, but it's not actually crystal itself. It's to be made out of like a really thick glass. There's little walkways. This one's mildly broken, but there are walkways on each side of it that go up to the device. Actually, sorry, as you start to scan through, you can see a small flicker of blue near the bottom portion of the device that's sort of socketed into the front of it. My mistake.
Make a what? Oh, or do I not need to make a check?
No, you see that since you're actively searching for glowing, you see the very faint glow of a blue crystal or something that's affixed to the bottom portion of the device.
I'll go toward it.
And you start to look at it, you kind of have to walk along one of the platforms to get to it. No big deal. The closer you get to it, the more you realize that it's actually like a really ornate necklace that's been socketed into the front part of this device. And you have this moment of realization that what you're looking at is a very similar necklace to what Sirius wears, current Lemurian. And it is almost identical, if not maybe slightly different, to the one that Sirius wears currently.
I guess, does it look circle made, or does it look like
It looks definitely of circle descent. Although you've never seen anyone else have a necklace like this who isn't the current Lemurian.
oh, I like
So seeing
I
that is
I
kind of a big deal for you to have that realization. Is like,
yeah.
oh shit, like that's big. Like that's big.
And you said it's kind of like socketed in there.
Yeah, it seems to rest in like a small little portion of that bottom portion of this device.
You hear mumbling
Can
in the
I check
background.
for traps?
Don't hurt yourself.
You can make an investigation check or a perception check if you so choose. Because you start to look around, you can see where it sockets in. It doesn't seem to have anything around it that indicates like this device is trapped or anything like that. You look around the floor, you look for tripwires, you don't see anything. It appears that it is not trapped.
Okay. Um. I try and I try and grab it.
And you do. So you reach out and sort of go to touch it. You grab it, pop it out of its little socket, and the little chain that was sort of around it dangles with it, and you pull it away from the device. The upper portion, the focal point at the top, kind of like powers down in a way. There's no like or anything. You just see the lens just focus downward, move down, stop. So it seemed to have some sort of relation to this device operation. You grab it as well, and as you're holding it, you start to look at it. And it's a pretty ornate looking necklace. You're not used to holding something like this, as it's usually kept by your superiors. The moment you sort of grab it and have that realization, you get this little flash imagery of this really ornate looking white scale dragonborn that has this really huge mantle and headdress on. unfamiliar. The figure you have never seen before just has that 1 or 2 second flash of that image before it fades away.
Is that skeleton in here a human? Like, what? I guess what species would it be?
You can go over to that skeleton and make a medicine check if you wish.
Sure, I will do that.
Really quick, I'm just gonna run her to bed.
Okay.
But Barney would realize that this is like the exact thing that the librarians wanted them to look for, and probably start just like stacking the books up so we can take them with us when we leave.
Okay.
They're around here.
Sure.
And then maybe after that, if I'm not back, he'd probably scribe if there's any like symbols on the wall or whatever. He might like try to make a imprint of it or whatever.
Sure thing. So you guys watch Barney begin to scour through and look through things as he does his own thing. Medicine. So in 11, you walk up to this corpse and you can see that they don't have any form of that visual that you just had that moment of flash of. They were not dragonborn. You can definitely tell by the facial construction of the skeleton or this mummified. There's very light mummified skin to the bones, but they definitely have been dead for quite a long time. Most likely human or potentially elven. You're not sure, but definitely not dragon. The robes also are these really old, faded black, mildly burnt robes with white inlay in certain spots.
Okay. I guess for me, I'll just be roaming around to try and figure out who this place belongs to.
Of course.
And
But again, you're having these, connected puzzle pieces like,
yeah,
holy shit, this place might be fucking something serious here. Especially if there's that, the device requires that necklace to operate that you're familiar with. But yes, you begin to scour around. Bumbleman, what are you doing?
Checking out the books and stuff and this table of things.
Okay, so when you walk over there, you can see there are journals stacked up or books. There is a bit of a layer of dust on some of it. There is a bunch of loose notes all over the place. Some of them are in worse for wear, others are not so much. But you can see that there are several makeshift tables set up around here. There are some dusty bottles still within this one that you're standing by. And there's a couple others that are around the room as well.
Well, I scanned the top pages of what they were currently working on or interested in. But I'll kind of probably bundle that up. But as soon as I see the bottles, I will investigate the bottles.
Okay.
Always looking for interesting ingredients and things that I might use, or even if they're empty bottles, I might take them.
Do you read through anything, or are you just gathering, throwing it in your bag?
I read the top layer, the stuff that they were currently looking at. So, like, and if it's a journal, I don't go too far in.
And then you see, no, you don't see that one. But yeah, you can see some scribbles and stuff. There's missing.
Yeah.
Fine. We're getting close to the end, but that's fine. But yeah, the bottles you can see as you grab one and pick them up. You have to dust it off for a second. You're like, oh, that's definitely old wine or something like that in here. But there are others still strewn about. So you kind of are like, oh yeah. Hey Barney, ha ha ha. But yeah, you start to gather up the book. The one tome that you grabbed from that table looked pretty intricate, like it might be like a grimoire or something like that. But yeah, you start to
Yeah, I'm just
grab.
yeah, empty the bottle that is open, that's almost gone, sort of thing. And take it with
Yep.
me.
Yep.
And then
There's a couple. There's 3 bottles on that table. 2 of them are empty. One of them is about half full of whatever liquid was inside that.
but if it was
And
open,
then
I dump it.
and you see on this side as well that there's another table with what looks to be like an old satchel that's on the floor and another bottle that's sitting on the top of it. That one strikes your interest as that is a sort. What the fuck is that shape called? It kind of goes down flat and then it's almost like a beaker.
Yep.
but it has a cork on the top of it, and it has a liquid that is separated on the inside in 3 different colorations because it's sat here for so long. Its ingredients have completely separated from one another.
Is there a label on it?
Nope, there is not.
I automatically, without thinking about it, pick it up and swirl it.
Okay. It swirls together, so the layers of color is pretty unique. It has this like really dull, like almost olive green, and then it has like a brown, and then a clear liquid to it. And you start to swirl it all around in there, and it melds all into this, strangely, into this silver coloration on the inside. So for your alchemical brain, the colorations are xeno, like it's strange to you. You're not sure what it is.
Okay, when I get some time later on, I will definitely, spend some time trying to figure out what it is.
Indeed.
And then, unless somebody gets to it before me, I'll check out you said not
The backpack?
Yeah, the backpack.
Inside there is a number of books. There's about 4 tomes in here. Most likely, and you pull them out, there are history books, arcana books, contraption books, and a book about elven devices, the Arcanus Doris, all in a row in there. And then you can see like there are shoved in wrappers and things like that, like they use to conceal rations or preserve rations inside. But they're all gone. All the food is gone.
But it wasn't like nibbled through by rats or
Nope.
infestation. Yeah.
Nope. Most likely was eaten by whoever was stuck in.
Yep.
And yeah, you've gotten to this point as well, and you can see other objects and sort of loose debris that have fallen either from the ceiling or from the wall. But there's a large sort of raised section that goes into a spiral staircase that goes down at the bottom of the room here.
All right. You can move on to the next if you want.
And you look over at that moment and you see Bjorn standing across the way, cape billowing, torch burning in hand.
And
And
I
you see
automatically look away. I'm
Barney,
upset. I'm jealous.
Barney's picking up a bunch of stuff, piling it in a bag while making little sketches of notes of some of the sigils and stuff he sees on the walls and ceiling. And what would Altair be doing now after this?
I guess I'd probably go to the stairs and I guess just look up, see how far it goes, if there's light, what am I seeing?
It goes down, actually it descends.
Down. Okay.
And yeah, even through like the glass that was beneath the device, it looks like it covers a large hole where this blue illumination is coming from. But it goes down for quite a ways before you lose sight of the end of the spiral.
Now, does the spiral, is it just like a small spiral, or is the spiral go around like this whole room size? Does that make sense?
It's a smaller localized spiral.
Okay. Yeah.
You get a bit of a faint, colder breeze the closer you get to it as well.
Okay.
But there is no illumination besides the illumination in this room. So the longer you look down, the realize that it descends into darkness, essentially.
Then I'd like to see if I can, like, if I know what this amulet does, if anything. I don't know if I've heard or if I need to look at it or what.
You can attempt to spend time with the amulet, but what you know about it is that it was always held and passed down to the current Lemurian. So one day, eventually, after your pilgrimage, you would take the reins and you would be gifted that amulet to prove as a symbol of your position within the crystalline circle.
I'm gonna be marrying two trains.
My God.
Um,
Cringe.
I'm
He
not going to feed
immediately
it. I'm
takes
not
the
going to
cape
mention.
off and says, "You need this more than me."
Yeah, I'll attempt to figure out what it does, if anything.
Okay. Okay, so this will be another instance of a bit of a short rest to ascertain the items that you found. But yes.
I would ask if Mumbleman wants to look at the rein and bridle I have.
Maybe later as he stares at this silvery liquid
Okay.
in a beaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mumbleman doesn't even reply to you. He just looks over and he's like, huh? Yeah, but
Okay.
okay. So I would like to say that we can end tonight here, guys. If we can, please and thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
On this short rest note. I guess I can go through Bjorn, you were looking at that torch, right?
Yes, that's
Okay,
all I've been doing.
that's an ever
My
burning.
fancy torch. Ever burning torch.
Yep. With the
So it
command
never
word. Sorry, go ahead.
say it never goes out.
So it has a command word to turn it off and on, but whoever was using it most likely perished with it ablaze. But with row, it will turn the flame back on, and row will
Row.
carry it. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Then I say
speaking that command
row.
word will cause it to, and it fizzles out, smokes for a very small second like a candle, and then is no longer ablaze.
Take my torch and kind of secure it with me.
Okay.
Yay.
So, do you want to go through the other two things, or wait? Or
Yeah. Sorry. What were you looking at, Mumble Man?
he was trying to discern this silvery liquid.
Okay. That. So you kind of how what do you do to try to ascertain its contents? Describe to me how you would try to figure out what it is.
First, you swirl it around, and then I shine some light through it, and trying to discern what the ingredients are. And then, at some point in time, I would open it and sniff it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm still unsure and stuff, I would start pulling out my alchemy kit and testing small bits of it.
Okay.
And if
Um,
that
in
doesn't get
in
me,
doing so, especially with your kit, start to ascertain that this potion is a potion of split focus.
okay.
So what that does is it has a period of time or duration that it lasts for that you concentrate on more than one spell at a time.
Yep.
If your concentration is broken, you suffer a bit of psychic damage. But most likely in this case, whichever archivist or whoever was in here was using this to concentrate on multiple spells at the same time.
Just one single dose in it, right?
Yes. Single use, last 10 minutes. But that's a pretty hefty potion there.
Yeah.
So whoever this person was, especially, has either rank or tenure. You're not sure who they were as of yet, without studying a lot of the books and tomes and journals and scribbles that you found throughout here. One of the pieces of paper as well that you grabbed was an alteration of a sigil of a spell that it looks like they're working on creating themselves. So that'll be one of those items that you have to sit and sort of study for a bit to ascertain what it is.
Yep.
But at first glance, you're like, oh yeah, that's a sigil of something.
Yeah. No, my attention will always go towards the alchemical stuff first, as opposed to notes and whatnot.
Indeed. And Altair, were you studying the necklace for that hour?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a Lemurian ornate crystalline necklace. It stores a projection from a crystal that the wearer touches along with its effects, and then can cast the vision through minor illusion to display the contents of that crystal to other people. So it's very similar to what Sirius, when he was helping and training you to read crystals through their projections and all that. But with this, you realize that it wasn't his innate ability, it was the necklace's innate ability to project what he sees, sort of like a little hologram to a degree, right? But it seems to also draw energy from crystals to recharge its ability to do so.
Okay.
Just right quick before we end, Bjorn runs up like next to Mama Man, puts his leg up on the little stone piece right there, pulls out the torch, looks at Mama Man, and his cape starts bellowing, and he goes, "Row."
And it,
Mumble Man just stumbles back, look of awe on his face for a second, and then he starts mumbling incoherently while smiling at you.
And I just go, "Row," and shut it back off.
I'm pretty
He
sure
always
you.
fire.
I think I have it set so it displays light.
Yeah.
And I think you can control it. I've put it under the player section, so anyone who has it can pull it out and throw it somewhere. Like if you're like, oh, I want to throw it over into that corner, and it can light up or something, you can move the torch. I think.
Nope. Can't grab
No.
it.
Oh, okay. No, you can't. Clearly you can. Sorry, now you can. There you go.
Ooh.
But yeah, with all this newfound information, it'll be another one of those things with we'll pick up with at the beginning of next session. Can ascertain more about what this is, what this room is, and revel in your extreme find here at Nestled Nook.
Yes, that we need to protect at all costs and make our new base of operation. And oh, it would make a wonderful home. I could do so much with this base. Mumble Man's talking to himself.
But you also know that it seems to be sought after by several other people and things like that too. And in some regard, you were also hired to try and figure out how to get in here, and you were successful, unlike seemingly several other groups of people before goblins would interfere or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those pivotal things here.
Just want to double check. Mumble Man will eventually go over and give him a good scan and
Okay.
not scared by death or whatnot, so it'll be, checking pockets and pouches and
Okay.
everything.
On their persons, you find a couple older rolls of parchment shoved into their pocket.
Okay.
There's an inkwell with a quill. The inkwell has like elven script along the outside, and it's not so much in a language, it's more or less the symbology of elven I guess language just on the inkwell itself. So that's kind of interesting to see. They also have the robes, although the hood is burned on it, it has a number of pockets along the outside and inside. And on the inside as well, it has like a built-in grimoire holster. It doesn't appear to be magical or anything because it did suffer damage from.
So, I'll take the rope and cast mending on it to kind of eliminate the hood and the damage.
Okay, sweet.
I will not. Well, what color is the robe?
It's black with a white embroidery along some of the seams, but on the inside as well, like like the inside of like a blazer or something, it's a different color. It has a bit of a white light.
I look at Bjorn as I pull on his robe. over top of like everything else I'm wearing, and kind of flick it back so it flutters a little bit, and then I swirl and play around with it, and I will decide later whether or not I wear it, or pack it up.
Okay. Awesome. Josh, you back?
Yeah.
Okay, Barney would gather probably half a dozen tomes and books, along with some loose pieces of paper in that time frame, as well as scribing down some of the sigils you've seen in here.
And then toward the end of it, these bottles would have caught my eye, but that can wait
Okay,
till later.
yep. That also you see over here, there are 2 empty wine bottles and then 1 bottle of wine that's half drank with the cork in the top still.
I'll check it out. I'll like wipe the dust off, see if I can. If
It is indeed quite dusty. It has recent white marks, as someone might have just investigated it a little bit but left it behind. But yeah, it seems to be some sort of alcoholic beverage that is behind.
I'll safely tuck it in my bag.
Yeah, you're not sure how long it's been in here for, but yeah, it seems like it's a pretty old half bottle of wine there.
That might be a drink well somewhere safe bottle, just in case it causes me to go blind or something.
That's grummet. But yeah, we'll pick up next week here, guys. I would like to kind of go to bed.
All right, man.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
But thanks for coming out. Good time, guys, and I'm happy you guys got through that puzzle too.